More Than Words with Wendy Damanari.
Let's have a squiz at Aussie slang. She's an Aussie, but she's lived abroad. Wendy has spent a lot of time with different cultures, and that's when those classic Aussieisms really do stand out. Communications trainer Wendy Damanari, good morning.
Good morning, g'day, bonjour.
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. How you going?
Yeah. What is this? Why do we do this Aussie slang? What's it all about?
Well, it's just part of our culture, isn't it? Of course, you know, it has its origins in England and Ireland. We brought a lot of that over, but it's just something that it makes us who we are, I think.
Yeah, and there's something. I don't even think we realise we do it a lot of the time, but then when you're speaking with somebody from elsewhere in the world and they're just looking at you with this blank face and you're going, what are you talking about? And
yeah, that's true. As you mentioned, I lived in France for a long time, and I had to be quite careful about some of the expressions that I'd use because people would look at me, what? You know, what's that? So I had to sort of modify things a little bit. But, you know, we have expressions that are very particular to Australia, and I think that's what makes us unique.
Yes, it nearly feels like the biggest in-joke that there could be for some of them. So let's break down some of our Aussieisms and our slanguage.
Sure.
Give the cold shoulder.
To give the cold shoulder, well, I think we all know that means sort of ignoring somebody or making it clear that they aren't welcome. But it actually originated a long time ago, Susan, in medieval England. It was customary for a dinner host to give their guests the cold piece of shoulder meat from whatever dish they were eating as a very polite way of saying it's time to leave. So the next time you've got guests over and they've overstayed their welcome, then just give them a piece of cold shoulder
meat. Yep. Okay. Love it. I love it. So let the cat out of the bag.
Okay. To reveal a secret. Now, as it turns out, way back centuries ago, people did actually keep cats in bags.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But let me explain. So, in fact, this was sort of in the street vendors where they were actually selling piglets in bags. But sometimes these vendors were a bit deceitful and they'd put a cat in the bag, hoping that the buyer wouldn't notice, because obviously a cat was perhaps, you know, worth less than a piglet.
Yeah.
But, however, if the cat got out of the bag before the purchase was complete, then the secret was out, wasn't it? And so that's where that expression, you know, came from.
Yes. What about one way that we say that things are a bit costly?
Yeah, you know, we often say, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. Yeah. So actually there is a little bit of discussion about, you know, where this originated from. And of course, you know, during World War I and World War II, when soldiers were being injured and were losing limbs, you know, the expression, you know, giving an arm and a leg for your country indicated that they were giving up something very valuable. However, other people say that the expression dates back a long time ago to oil painting portraits. So if you had your portrait painted and it was only sort of your head, then you would pay a lot less than if you had the rest of your body, as in your arm and your leg. So if you wanted your arms and legs painted, then you had to pay a lot more. Hence the expression.
So it would only be for the elite in the communities.
Yeah, that's right. People who had a lot of money. Well, certainly you had to have a lot of money to have your portrait done anyway. But also, you know, if you wanted to have, you know, your arms and your legs as well, then you had to pay a lot more.
Yeah. What about to steal someone's thunder?
Now, this has its origins in the theatre. So perhaps, you know, there are theatre people out there who might be interested in this. So I'll tell you a little story. John Dennis was a playwright in the early 1700s, and he invented a new method of replicating the sound of thunder for his new production. So, you know, he'd sort of have these metal balls that would roll around in a wooden bowl. Anyway, his play failed and it was cancelled. However, he found out that that somebody had actually patented his thunder sound, and it was being used in a play about Macbeth. So Dennis was quoted as saying, "Damn them! They will not let my play run, but they steal my thunder."
Oh.
And so that's where it came from.
Okay. Now, this one is probably one that many people will have heard before. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
So, look for avoidable errors so you don't remove something good with the bad. Okay, so where this idiom comes from is a time when, a long time ago, when the whole household bathed out of the same water. And of course, the Lord would bathe first, and then the men, and then the lady of the house, and then the women, and then the children. And guess who came last? The babies came last. So by that stage, you can imagine how filthy, how dirty the water was. And there was a risk that the water being so filthy, you couldn't actually see the baby in it, and that you would end up chucking the baby out with the bathwater.
It's gross. Just the image in my mind. Hair of the dog. Let's finish up with hair of the dog.
We'll finish up. This is for Jono in particular. He asked about it. Okay, a morning drink might be the last thing that you want after a night of boozing, but that's exactly what this quirky little English expression means. So originally, if you had been attacked by a rabid dog and you had a bite, they would actually put the hair of that dog on the wound, and that was supposed to. Yeah, I know it sounds horrible and weird, but that was supposed to fix it. That was supposed to be the cure. So in that sense, having another drink or any drink is like taking hair from the dog that bit you.
Oh, goodness
so there
me.
you go.
Oh, goodness me. It's great to hear some of the explanations of where these things have come from, because there are so many around.
Yeah.
Communications trainer Wendy Deminari from Work Ready NQ. Thank you very much for sharing those insights with us. Now, I do like to get you involved, Wendy, in Tune Teaser. Do you want to pop those headphones on?
Yes.
And I will quickly play today's Tune Teaser for you. Do you know the name of today's Tune Teaser? She's got a finger pointing to the sky.
It's a Fleetwood Mac song.
It surely is.
And Gypsy.
It surely is.
Yes.
Today's Tune Teaser.
I'm still good.
Gypsy. Thanks, Wendy.